speaker today was born in Scotland and was raised there, South Africa, Botswana, and the United States. She has a very long relationship with St. Edward's School, having attended the lower and middle schools before going on to this Porter School in Connecticut for her high school years. There she became a two-time defending state badminton champion in doubles and singles, and she lettered in 5 varsity sports. From Miss Porter, she went on to play tennis for Wellesley College, where she earned a degree in psychology with a minor in biology. After college, she wore many hats in the nonprofit world and in real estate development until she went back to college to complete an English major at the Ohio State University, where she discovered her true calling, teaching. She taught her first English classes at St. Edward's in 2007 and became a full-time teacher here in 2010. In addition to her job at St. Edward's, she is in the final phase of earning her master's degree in literature from the University of the South, Sewanee. This summer, she will be writing her thesis on an 18th century Scottish author, which she will hopefully defend in April, and she plans to attend her own graduation in May. Of all her many vocations and avocations, the one she is most proud of is as a mother. Her 2 children, Ivor and Fiona, are both middle schoolers here at St. Edward's, and she looks forward to having them in her class one day. Please welcome our featured speaker, Louise Kennedy.
About 2 months ago, I got a call or a text actually from Mr. Murski asking me to come to his office as soon as possible. Those are always fun. The pulse was a little quick, and I tried to think back to the last week to see where something had perhaps gone wrong. He told me the history of graduation speeches here at St. Ed's, and I vaguely remember him saying something was going to change this year. But when he told me that the seniors had chosen me to be their speaker, I was stunned and incredibly touched. I thought, wow, what an honor. These kids know how much I love them. And this class in particular knows how much I will miss them. Wow, what an incredible honor. But as I walked back to my classroom, my head in the clouds, I thought about it a little. That's when I figured it out. What a brilliant ploy. The best senior prank ever. Utter ingenuity. Every one of the students on this stage has been forced by me to give a 5-minute humorous speech in English class. Revenge is sweet. They're making me eat my words. You see, it's easy to tell a group of shiny teenagers from the comfort of the podium in my classroom that public speaking's not so bad. Suck it up. It's all in your head. It's only a few minutes. I don't care if you do feel like you're going to faint to do the speech or get the 0. And now here I am, in front of them and in front of you. And next year I'm pretty sure I'm canceling humorous speeches. This is just cruel and unusual punishment. Just kidding, you guys know how much I love cruel and unusual punishment. And here's the best part, kids. This isn't going to be a humorous speech. Here's where I get the last laugh. You gave me the stage, and now it's serious. Game on, seniors. Game on. So, graduation, the moment is now. How far you have all come. I can say that with certainty, because my classroom sits in the middle of the freshman hallway. I saw you. All of you. Back then. Gangly, lost, overly confident, lots of braces, high-pitched squeals, and that was the boys. And an awkward height distribution. And now look at you. Well, there's still that awkward height distribution. But most of the braces are gone, and the overconfidence has now settled in nicely, and you're a strong, accomplished young scholar, ready for the next challenge. And you guys are genetically predisposed to getting to the next stage quickly. All of your senior teachers behind me will agree when I say that no class has ever had such early onset senioritis. You have the data. But we understand there is something so exciting about setting out on a new path. You've done all that you can do here, and now it's time to leave us for a new challenge. New people, new ideas, it's wonderful. I'd love another crack at it. I'm finally old enough to understand the adage, youth is wasted on the young. And that makes me think, what would I do differently if I could be where you are again? What are the lessons I wish someone had given me? So listen up. When I put my grumpy old lady hat on, I look at your generation and I feel sad and a bit worried that you've grown up in a culture that largely prevents you from taking risks and protects you from failure. If you settle into your comfort zone and never risk failure, you'll never discover what you're capable of. You've been on a track for most of your life, and that track has been there to build skills. Now you have to put yourself to the test. Listen to your heart and go after the things you think you want. Will you stumble or fail at some of them? I hope so. Because it will mean that you are alive and alert and open, and it will mean that you'll be a student of life and learn about yourself. You cannot learn to adapt in this world if everything goes your way. That's really important. You cannot learn to adapt in this world if everything goes your way. I want you to learn to embrace the notion of the necessary mistake. Stumble, failure, risk, misstep, or whatever it is you want to call it. If I had listened to my inner college nerd, I'd have understood English was the thing I was destined to do. But I had thoughts, some of them a bit blurry, of being a doctor. And so I became a pre-med science major. While my friends were hanging out in coffee shops, I was stuck in lab for hours at a time doing brain surgery on live rats. I could have been reading Shakespeare. Incidentally, did you know they found a new Shakespeare play? Really? I know, so exciting, right? See how I should never have been doing physics? Fail. Anyway, I did all of that hard science, and I didn't end up going to medical school, but I don't regret it. And I wouldn't consider the pre-med track I was on to be a mistake at all. No, not a mistake. Remember to question the very notion of a mistake. I learned some of the greatest critical reasoning and analytical skills by taking those science courses. Now I apply those skills to the thing I love, literature. So I made a mistake initially, but, and this is the important thing, I wasn't afraid to take a risk and try something. When you make mistakes, trust me you will, learn to find positives in the mistakes you make. I've learned the most about myself and about the world around me from making mistakes. It wasn't always easy, but it wouldn't change a thing, because here I am today, speaking to you as your teacher. Through mistakes with friends, I've learned what I most value in other people, and what I hope they'll most value in me. Through wardrobe mistakes, I've learned that combat boots are okay when you're in your teens, but not when you're 41. And that shorty shorts are just not okay for anyone. Seriously, girls. Anyone. I've learned that the skills I acquired in high school and college become exponentially more important as an adult. Science gave me the critical reasoning skills that helped me make the big decisions in my life. Math helped me understand what amortization is and helps me through the pains of tax season. History helps me understand current events and the world around me. Languages allow me to travel to foreign lands, like Miami. Music, theater, and art all help me escape reality for small moments and see the joy in human expression, all cultures and all media. High school and college gave me all of that. I can give you all of that too, so don't be afraid to try new things. Yes, you might fail, but you will find yourself. Imagine if I hadn't taken the risk. Imagine if I'd followed the path to medicine. I cannot imagine my life without St. Edward's School and these young people. And yet, on my first day in 2007, as I sat and waited for the first class to walk through the door, I was absolutely terrified. I wanted to run away. I wanted to bolt to Mr. Walker's office and say, "This is a mistake. I'm not supposed to be here. I can't do this. Teenagers are scary. I don't know what I'm doing." But I didn't. I took the risk, pushed through, and here I am 7 years later on stage because you believe I have something to tell you. I wanted to run away from a mistake, but here I am, right where I'm supposed to be. Those of you who know me know that this job, this place, these kids are my light. Those closest to me know that I often tell people I'm the luckiest and happiest girl you'll ever meet. I really am. And I owe much of my happiness to the mistakes I've made and the roadblocks I faced. So I can say from experience that you must go out into the world, take a risk, and welcome the stumbles. Next year, go off to college and shed your Facebook persona. Move past your Twitter tweets. Clip your Vines, snip your Snapchats. Deprogram your Instagram. Explore some other sense of self. But before you go, seniors, take a look around you. Look out at this wax-packed crowd. All of these happy faces that are here to support you as you leave us. But when you leave, don't forget about St. Edward's School. When you step into your college library, whip out your iPhone and a bag of Cheez-Its, think of Mrs. Knowles and her FBI camera system. When you ponder your sad little pot of ramen noodles for the 5th night in a row, think of Brandon in the kitchen enthusiastically selling you chicken piccata, nacho cheese stick ham sandwiches, and buffalo wings. When your math professor drones on and on, think of Mr. Wong leaping and squealing in his classroom. I know this because I can hear him through the vent. When you find yourself horrified at what other students are wearing to class, think of our fashionable dress code and the rack. When you find yourself staring out the window at piles of dirty snow, think of us complaining about the temperature in the history room. Boys, when you feel like skipping a day, or 30, of shaving, think of Mr. Wachter, gently slapping you a little on the cheek. And when you feel like you need a loving, comforting hug after a really long, hard day, remember Mr. Lee. Oh, wait a minute. Typo. I meant remember Mrs. Green and Mrs. Donnelly. Above all, take some risks. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. As a mother who has not yet faced with sending off her chicks, there they are, right there in the front row, I look at your parents out there in the audience and I feel their pain. We, your families, and your teachers all stand poised at the edge of the nest, ready to nudge you out. Some of you will vault off the edge with no fear and a sense of immortality. Some of you will cling to the edge and will have to push hard to get you out. But all of you will, in one way or another, take flight and move on to the next stage with strength, determination, and really good public speaking skills. I love you all, and I'll miss you very, very much. Thank you.